on Friday.
No, I was not. I was asking the question of if the Niners offense hummed, what it would mean. But Brandon Allen's in the same bucket as Bruce favorites, CJ, Brian Hoyer, and Nick Mullins, CJ Beathard, not CJ Stroud, of quarterbacks that can't even run this quarterback-proof offense. I thought Trey Lance actually ran it well.
It's clearly not quarterback-proof. You just named 4 quarterbacks.
Right, because they're not starters. They're not starters in this league. And so I just had a feeling this is how it would go. Would be if the Niners somehow had won and played well, it would mean nothing, like Jake Browning.
Right.
But because they struggled without their starting quarterback, without their starting left tackle, without their best defensive player, it speaks to his value. It just seems like it's always Calvin ball with the Purdy discussion, and that's frustrating.
And I think this would have been a totally different discussion if the defense had played anywhere near close to well. So they couldn't tackle anybody. They gave up a 100-yard rusher for the first time in the regular season in 55 games. So that hadn't happened since that streak was like since 1955, one of the longest or the longest streak. So they couldn't tackle, they couldn't play defense, they couldn't stay onside, they had 9 penalties. Collectively, they laid an egg. So it's hard to say this was Purdy. This would have been a lot more compelling if the defense had played well and the offense had played that poorly. But collectively, the whole team laid it out.
And I'm not saying this is like some huge statement. What I'm just pointing out the facts that they fell apart.
Does anyone think the 49ers are going to the playoffs?
I do.
No,
you do.
Are going?
Yeah.
Wow, so it sounds like the only one there that is saying the 49ers are going to make the playoffs is Coach Mangini. So it sounds like Nick, Brew, or Wilds believe that this 49er team is going to turn it around and make it into the playoffs. The NFC West is a terrible division right now. It's a very average division. So, the 49ers are still going to be able to take the division. It's just going to be a little bit difficult because of tiebreaker situations. So they're going to have to really finish, I think, to take the NFC West. I think they're going to have to really finish above the rest of the teams, if they end up having the same number of wins as, maybe the Seahawks or the Cardinals or the Rams. I don't know if the Rams are going to make it back up. But, the tiebreaker situation right now is not going to work out for the 49ers because they had all of those divisional losses already. So, for me, I think they're really just going to have to finish out and in front, and it's going to be really tough. I mean, there's some tough games left on the 49ers schedule, and it starts this weekend. So they've got the Sunday night game in Buffalo. They're really going to need Bosa to go. They're really going to need Purdy to go if they're even going to have any chance in this game against the Bills. Purdy was actually able to throw in practice yesterday, so that is huge for maybe Purdy's chances to play in this game. But they're really going to need, some health going into this game. Trent Williams, I think, is also going to have to play. I think they're going to need Trent, they're going to need Bosa, and they're going to need Purdy to have a chance. But, most likely Buffalo at home, they're probably going to take care of the 49ers this weekend. I mean, any given Sunday, anything could happen, but we kind of saw how that worked out against the Packers. But Purdy was not there. So this weekend, it's going to be a tough start here to finish out the schedule. The Bears are not really playing great, so, the 49ers will have them at home. That is December 8th. So, a little better chance there for the Niners to win. That game against Chicago, again, if they have some health, if they have guys like Bosa, Purdy, and Trent around, I think they can pull that game out. Rams will be coming to Santa Clara December 12th. That is a night game as well. So, Rams are dangerous. Puka is back. Kupp is back. Stafford is always dangerous. So, no guarantees in that game right there. Niners have already lost to the Rams this year. So, Rams could definitely beat the Niners in that game. Dolphins have definitely turned it around. So that's the December 22nd game. They've turned it around. They started out, Tua got injured. They kind of lost a bunch of games. He's come back. They're playing better for sure. So they're kind of turning their season around. So that may not be a cakewalk there. If you got Tua healthy, you got Waddle and Tyreek out there. I mean, that might be a tough game for the 49ers. And then the December 30th night game, Lions are coming into Santa Clara for that game. So that's going to be a really tough one, just like the Buffalo game. And then to close out the season, January 5th, Niners have to go on the road to Arizona, so they got to go to Glendale for that game, and we've already seen them lose to the Cardinals this year. So, it's there's a lot of games here that the 49ers could lose if they don't get their act together. So, the division, it's still in play, but they're really going to have to pull some. They might need to pull out maybe the Bills or the Lions game, which I don't know if they're going to be able to do the way they've been playing this year. And they need to take care of some of these other teams, right? The Rams, the Dolphins, the Cardinals, the Bears, and they need to pick up some of those wins, and they need to maybe pull one of the games against the Lions or the Bills to really have a chance to take this division, because, again, just that poor divisional record, that poor conference record, it's not really going to help them when it comes to a tiebreaker situation in the division. So we'll kind of see how it plays out. That last game against the Cardinals on January 5th, that could be critical. Like, let's just say, Niners and Cards come down to that last week of the season and they have the same record. I mean, that could be the division right there. If the Seahawks don't pull out in front, or the Seahawks aren't in that mix as well, that January 5th game could be very critical to see who takes the NFC West. But I want to know, what do you think about it? Niners, tough schedule the rest of the season. Some really tough games against Buffalo and Detroit. And then some winnable games. Rams, winnable game. Bears, winnable game. Dolphins, that is a winnable game. And also the Cardinals. So I've definitely got some games that there's no gimmies in the NFL, especially the way the 49ers have been playing this year, but they've got a bunch of winnable games left on the schedule. Do you think they can take the NFC West and win the division? Let me know what you think about it in the comments section. Appreciate you for taking the time to watch this, and I will talk to you soon.